Hey everyone, it's Kelly. I have finally returned back to the kitchen to film videos. The last 6 months have been a little crazy. I moved across the country, I started a new job, the cats moved with me, and I just really have not been spending a lot of time in the kitchen. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and make some chicken noodle soup because it's supposed to be cold and like 6 to 10 inches of snow by tomorrow. So I will zoom you in closer, get rid of Wallace, and we will get started. Okay, so we're gonna make a dry rub for our chicken. We've got some dried rosemary, garlic powder, onion powder, dried chilies from New Mexico, kosher salt, and fresh cracked pepper. It's about equal parts of everybody going into this bowl and mixing it up super well to make sure everything is good to go. So we're going to take this, and for our chicken, I have 4 chicken legs, full legs, chicken quarters, same thing, but this is what I bought at the store. I'm going to coat both sides in this dry rub and really rub it in there, both the top, the skin, and then on the underside, I'm going to pull back any skin that's covering the meat and just make sure to season everything because we don't want bland chicken soup. So from here, everything is seasoned, rub it in. I'm going to put it on this little quarter sheet tray, cook it in my toaster oven at 400 until it reaches 165. So while that chicken cooks, I'm going to get started on the soup. So my celery and carrots are in this little container of water because they were sort of sad in the refrigerator and a little, well, not crisp to my liking. So to rehydrate those, just stick them in some water and they'll come right back to life. No need to throw them out. But what I'm doing is I'm just going to dice everything about the same size. So for the celery, I'm going to cut it long ways down the middle and then cut it into little 1/2-inch pieces from there to make a small dice. Again, this is going to be a soup, and so I want everything to be small, fit on a spoon, easy to eat. And wow, guess who found a new camera angle that might be better for showing how to cut things. So again, slicing it long ways down the middle, protecting my fingers, and cutting 1/2-inch pieces. Okay, now that my celery is done, I'm going to cut my carrots. I'm going to cut them into smaller, more manageable pieces. So for me, I'm going to cut the large carrot into thirds, and then similar to the celery, cutting it in half long ways again to make little carrot matchsticks, and then cutting them into a 1/2-inch dice, similar to the celery. I think this is just the easiest way for me to do it. I'm sure there are other ways people like to do it. I'm going to transfer it over to my plate and speed through the next carrots. I wish I could cut this fast, but I can't. Okay, now I'm going to take some sliced baby Bella mushrooms, porcini mushrooms, same thing. Just give them a rough chop. I'm going to brown these first in the soup to help get some water out and add some good flavor. And I think it's important to brown them before adding everything else because otherwise the texture could be weird. Then my camera died because I haven't filmed in a while and I forgot to look at it. But now we're going to cut an onion for our soup. This is how I like to do it. I cut it pole to pole, so stem to root, then cut it in half. And now to dice the onion, I take 1/2 and put the cut side on the cutting board and cut 2 parallel lines parallel to the cutting board about 3/4 of the way into the onion. It is a little slippery on the cutting board, so just be careful when you do this. And then I'm going to cut straight up and down perpendicular lines the same 3/4 of the way through the onion to make the size dice I would like, again to match the carrots and celery. And then from there, I'm going to cut 1/2-inch pieces into the onion. So I'm only using half an onion for this soup, and I'm going to save the other half for something else I make. Sticking with the family, I'm just going to mince some garlic. These are 4 very large cloves that I'm going to cut into garlic coins, garlic medallions. I think this is the easiest way for me to mince everything together. So I'm just going to line them up, slice them thin, and then once I have done that, I'm going to rock my knife back and forth over all of the garlic until it's, really finely minced. I don't want big garlic pieces in the soup. So let's just speed right on through that. Okay, so that was about a 1/4 cup of minced garlic, which is a lot, but we're going to make a lot of soup, and I don't, again, want anything bland. To add another really fun flavor to the soup, I'm going to use fresh ginger that I'm going to microplane. I am peeling it with a spoon. That's the easiest way to peel ginger. I'm only going to use about half of this for the soup, but if you stick around for the end, there's a fun little surprise extra video attached to this video, how to use it so you don't waste anything, because I don't love food waste and I try to minimize it, especially since everything is going up in price. Make sure you get the full value out of what you buy. So I'm just going to peel this, and then once that is done, cleaning up the little papery mess here, I'm going to microplane about half of it. So it's about 1.5 inches of ginger root that I am grating down, which will go into the soup with the garlic. And then save that other half because we have fun things planned for that. Okay, now that that's done, our chicken, let's take that out of the oven, temping right at 165. I'm going to set that off to the side so when our vegetables are sauteing, we can shred this for the soup. So here we go. We've got a 5.5 quart Dutch oven, which is the perfect size for the quantity of soup we're going to make. I added some oil to the pan. I'm going to saute these mushrooms down before adding the other vegetables because I prefer the texture of a cooked mushroom in my soup to a fresh mushroom that hasn't been sauteed at all. So I'm just going to let those cook down. There we go. That was probably 5 minutes of cooking. Adding a bit more oil to the pan, adding the carrot, celery, onion, stirring that all together. And I'm going to let this saute for a while together. During this process, I have shredded the chicken I need, which are 2 of those legs for the soup. And going to let this cook down. Not something I want to rush or ignore because I want cooked vegetable texture for the soup since it's super brothy. Super brothy? Didn't even mean to do that one. All right, I'll see you when this is cooked. Okay, here we go. Vegetables are sauteed, not a ton of color. But that is perfectly fine for me. I'm going to add the garlic and ginger. Going to mix those up and let it cook a little bit just because fresh garlic and ginger has quite the bite to it. So we're going to let that cook down and mellow out in flavor. All right, so everything has become friends. Everyone's happy to be here. I'm going to add my chicken broth at this point. I made this the night before. I really like making my own for soups because then you can add whatever flavor you want. I prefer a peppery, lemony broth, and so that's how mine is made. I will add more lemon to this soup, but making broth is another great way to reduce any food waste because you can save like a chicken carcass or turkey carcass and vegetable scraps. Just throw it in your freezer, and then when you are ready to make soup, like I am, the night before you can just put it all together. This is about 3 or 4 quarts of soup, of broth. It'll be more than 3 or 4 quarts of soup. But I used it all here. You don't see that, but it all does get used. There's my shredded chicken going right on in. And I'm just going to set this on low, cover it, and let it hang out until I am ready to eat. So we'll see you after I make the pasta for my chicken noodle soup. Okay, so I'm over on the stove top. The soup is behind me on the island, but I'm going to cook my noodles for the soup separate because I don't like them to get mushy, and they're pretty small. They're these cute little shapes that I liked and picked up. I don't want to leave them in the soup to get mushy, so I have my boiling salted pasta water here. I'm just going to cook these till al dente and then keep them separate from the soup. And I'm going to keep them separate through the cooking process and then when I store it, just because I don't like mushy pasta, and it's much easier for me this way. So that's how I'm going to do it. So we will put this all together in just a minute. Alright, so time to go. Noodles are done. These are freshly drained. I did not rinse them, I just drained them so they're still warm. And then I'm going to use my little ladle. This ladle looks enormous. It's a 1.5 cups, 12-ounce ladle, which is just about perfect for 1 bowl of soup. So we've got, once again, keeping noodles and soup separate. I don't like mushy things. I don't like soggy things. I will keep these separate until ready to eat. Mixing those up. Gonna add a few more vegetables to the top here. And then I'm just about done. I'm going to add some Triscuit crackers to my soup because I like the texture of them. And that is all for my homemade chicken noodle soup. Thanks so much for sticking around during this little filming hiatus. Looking forward to making more videos, and stay tuned to the end of this one. There's a little fun bonus recipe for how to use the rest of that ginger. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bonus time. This is like the end of Marvel movies where you have to stay to the credits to see a little preview. But this is just a fun little recipe that I made in the middle of soup making to use up all the ginger. So I'm just thinly slicing it. This is going to be mixed with some lemon wheels and honey to make a really delicious syrup that's sort of like a natural cough syrup, and also really great for mixed drinks like hot toddies. Highly recommend. So we've got lemon wheels. We've got little ginger coins. And from that, we are going to take a tiny jar, put in lemon, and then ginger, alternating lemon wheels, ginger, and then we'll top it off with honey and make sure honey covers all the lemon. It might take a little bit for it to settle, so just add honey as needed up until everything is covered. Shake it up, throw it in your fridge, and this will be good. This is a small jar. I've made big jars before, but everything is usable after this point, whether it is, cough syrup remedy, hot toddy add-in, just a fun little pick-me-up. Highly recommend, and this way Nothing goes to waste. I would love to see if you guys make the soup, if you make the ginger lemon honey mix, what you do with it, and let me know what you want to see me make next. I know I'm making pot roast today as I'm currently recording this, but there will be more fun things on the way. So yeah, as always, happy eating, and I'll see you guys soon. And a little Franklin cam, just for fun. Okay, bye!